Hi, I'm Irving, and I'm still an Adamaniac.
For new adventures of Batman!
As our story opens, it's night and we see a mysterious figure sneaking through a museum. Based on that figure out front, I'm guessing it's a museum all about the Blob. The strange glowing guy makes his way to a certain exhibit. You wouldn't believe how much he saved on burglar tools just by being able to do that. He takes the moon rock and gets ready to leave.
Hold it. Just put that back and stay where you are.
Or maybe I'll go to lunch and pretend I never saw you. He doesn't seem to want to hurt anyone. He just wants to take his rock and go on about his business. Except it's not his rock, so a lot of people are unhappy about him taking it.
2, 1, ignition! It works, Bruce. It works!
Too bad he didn't read the part of the instructions that say to do this outside.
Lift off! Runaway rocket that's out of control!
I know stately Wayne Manor is a big place, but even so, it does have a roof. Those tend to be an obstacle to rockets going up. Really, I wonder how many kids saw that on Saturday morning and found it believable, and asked their parents if they could fire one off in their own living room.
Hey, how am I supposed to take a nap with all this? I'm sorry, Scott. I guess I forgot to read all of the directions.
All African-American men in the 70s had afros and wore cool clothes. That's Scott Rogers, an astronaut who just returned from the first solo flight to the moon and back. When he discovered Bruce's secret, they had no choice but to let him join the team. Everybody cringed when he started calling himself Bat Bro. Since he got back from the moon, he's had to do non-stop public appearances, speeches, and the whole bit. He's pooped.
Ah, well, I guess being a famous and handsome astronaut has its drawbacks.
Now there's the Scott Rogers I remember from college. A swell guy with a swelled head.
And now we know why he's hanging out with Bruce and Dick. The exposition in this episode is so skillfully woven into the story you don't realize it's exposition until later when you're reflecting on the story. Very good writing. Scott heads off to another speaking gig while Batman and Robin take a trip to police headquarters and get the lowdown on the glowing moon rock thief. Let's put it through the Bat computer and see what we can find.
Busy, busy, busy. Huh, guys?
That might.
Listen, the Moonman's right down my alley. Me being from outer space myself. So let's just erase what you've done so far and start over.
Oh, no, you little squirt.
He's from space? In the comics, he was from another dimension. Wherever he's from, he's not helping.
Maybe he's a goon for the moon. You know, a real lunar loony.
Bat might. That's it.
At least not deliberately.
You mean, it is? I mean, of course it is. I guess.
Batman, suppose our thief is nuts about moon objects. Where would he strike next?
The new moon ride.
Moon ride? Does it actually go to the moon? Elsewhere, Scott is giving his speech and Barbara is with him.
In conclusion, I say we are all space pioneers because we all share the responsibility of how we deal with this newest frontier, the moon.
Scott, are you all right?
It's just that recessive werewolf gene that he carries. It flares up sometimes. It's time for a little slapstick humor featuring Batmite.
Hey, wait for me! What's your big hey, for God's sakes, slow down! Can you beat that? They almost forgot me, the most important member of the dynamic trio.
I know he's supposed to be annoying, but the little bugger is just so cute. They're several miles away and the ride has just opened. They may be too late.
The astounding, the colossal moon ride. The only roller coaster in the world with rails of actual moon metal.
Why? And by the looks of it, only that one little segment is made from moon metal. And the way it's rippling, you may want to postpone this.
There's only one thing to do. Bat gyros away.
Those are a major upgrade from the old Batapult, but the Moonman points at them and forces them to the ground.
I shall return to the moon what is the moon's. She will not be robbed of her resources as Earth has been.
He couldn't do that after the coaster cars go by. He makes his escape because Batman and Robin have to deal with the damaged rails and the carload of people that's approaching them. Hey, if you accept a world where Batmite exists, you accept a world where they can do that.
Gordon here.
Barbara, are you still at the amphitheater?
Yes, Dad, why?
The Moonman struck again, this time at the fun park. He's reported headed your way.
10-4. I'll keep my eyes open. Oh, Scott, where have you been?
I went for a walk.
Yeah, that's why he has roller coaster track grease on his hands. It was a really long and weird walk. We figured out about 2 minutes in that Scott is the Moonman. Batman recorded the Moonman's voice, but the Bat voice analyzer can't come up with a match. Whoever this is, he's not in their database. Barbara has changed to Batgirl in hopes of getting Scott to talk to her. He's on his way home.
Something's happening to me. I don't know what it is. But maybe talking about it into this tape machine will help me think it through.
Talking to Barbara would have been more effective, but he goes on to say he's never needed help with anything. I'm sure. He taught himself how to be an astronaut, how to drive that car he's in. He didn't even have parents. He foraged his way through infancy. Talk about a rugged individualist.
Batgirl calling Batman and Robin.
Batgirl! Sorry! Let me talk to her!
Don't worry, Robin. Someday you'll understand things like that. She reports that she found Scott's car wrecked and he's nowhere to be found. But she did find the tape.
I don't know what it is, but maybe talking about it into this tape machine will help me think it through.
Holy double identity! The voice analyzer was still on and it's matched the Moonman's voice. With Scott's!
So shocking it brought down the house. No, Scott is using a huge radio telescope dish to amplify his magnetic power so he can pull the moon down to Earth. The Batcopter can't get near him and he won't listen to Batgirl. Meanwhile, we're having quakes, tidal waves, and water spouts all over the place. Gotta do something fast.
Robin, remember Scott telling us about that comet that shot past his space capsule when he was circling the moon?
Yeah?
My guess is that comet exposed him to some kind of radiation that, combined with moonlight, changes him into the Moonman.
Moonlight is reflected sunlight, so during the day he should change into Sunman.
If that's true, cutting off his supply of moonlight ought to restore him to normal.
But you can't just turn off the moon.
Oh, yes, we can.
He's pulled the moon down far enough that all those other clouds we see in the background are now above the moon, so they won't work. Scott has no memory of what he does as Moonman, but he's willing to change into Moonman again to set this right. I see a flaw in this plan.
No, I cannot return the moon.
What?
It must be set free from Earth's influence.
The Moonman doesn't care what Scott thinks. He's a separate entity. And if you're trying to set it free from Earth's influence, why are you pulling it toward the Earth? Nevertheless, Barbara convinces him, somehow.
But it is so hard, and I'm so tired.
Get back in the dish, Dodo.
Don't give up. You can do it.
The moon is moving back again.
But the magnetometer shows that Scott's powers are fading.
So tired.
Get back in the dish. He won't.
He did it, and just as his powers failed for good.
Not that it matters. No, I'm letting it go. It's a cartoon.
We all have problems from time to time, and it sure helps to talk them out with people we trust.
I got a problem. I can't swim.
Why is that a problem?
Because I can't fix leaks either.
Oh, no.
Trying to go it alone isn't tough. It's foolish. We won't find out why Scott's powers gave out just then, and Batmite won't even get a kiss from Batgirl for all his help. Robin spent the rest of the afternoon digging through his encyclopedias, trying to figure out why Batmite would want to do such an icky thing in the first place. I'm Irving, and I'm still an Adamaniac.